everyone, and welcome back to Valley Grown. My name is Melvi Tamayo, and I will be your host in tonight's episode. Life is indeed filled with uncertainties, and we face so many challenges in our lives, and sometimes we don't know what to do with them. In our topic discussion tonight, we will dive into how communication plays a huge part in our lives and how it aids to help us overcome life's challenges. I am here with me with my beloved friends, but before I introduce all of them to you, we would like to take this time to say thank you so much for being with us tonight. We appreciate you and we love you all. And if this is your first time tuning in, don't forget to also like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we will do our very best to always have a good show for you each week. All right, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and call on to my lovely panelists, Jill, Melanie, and Caitlin. Say hello and let us know where you're from, just in case, this is their first time tuning in.
Hello, everybody, and this is Jill San Antonio coming to you live from Santa Maria, California.
Hi, everyone. It's me, Melanie Cebu, coming from Visalia, California. Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, everybody. It's Caitlin Bautista from Bakersfield, California. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you don't know already, every single one of our shows are Friday night, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Again, thank you so much for tuning in and listening.
All right, thank you. Are you guys ready for a topic discussion? The topic we have for you tonight is communication through challenges. We will be talking about 3 different aspects of this, and we want you to also engage with us while we are having this topic discussion. So we're going to dive into our own personal experiences, our professional life, of course, and our general skills when it comes to communication and what we uphold in our lives. So the first question I have with my beloved friends here is, describe in a few words, okay? In a few words, what communication or effective communication mean to you. Let me start with Jill.
Ooh,
You're looking at me.
Totally caught me off guard. So I would say effective communication is being able to fully and transparently communicate how you feel 100% without holding back. And being able to having an objective, knowing that the conversation is going to go in the right direction. I would say that is effective communication to me.
I love that because you mentioned the word feel. It's not easy to express our feelings, especially when it comes to either misunderstandings or confrontations, right? How about you, Melanie?
To me, effective communication is a mutual understanding of the message you're trying to get across. So there's one person communicating and the other one receiving it, and then both understanding what they need to do after that.
Ooh, another wonderful answer. She said, when it comes to communication, it's a 2-way street, not one, but 2. I love that. All right, Caitlin, you're up next.
I think effective communication involves active and deliberate listening, understanding your tone, your diction, your words, and how they all play a role in expressing yourself and how you understand other people as well.
Oh, wow. See what I mean when it comes to communication? These friends of mine, they're very phenomenal. They're very knowledgeable when it comes to it. Caitlin mentioned tone, deliberate. As a matter of fact, when I was looking into communication, because I advocate for this very much, because I can relate it in my whole entire life's experiences. We'll dive into that in a little bit. But what Caitlin mentioned, research suggests that over 90% is actually coming from nonverbal cues, which includes our body language, the tone that she mentioned, and our facial expressions. So it's so important that not only we're willing to learn how to convey our messages clearly, but above all, include this and feel it and relay it with all sincerity. So the first,
And I would like
yes,
to
go ahead,
also
Melanie.
add Julia. Hi, Julia. Thanks
Hi,
again for
Julia.
tuning in. We've had a lot of communication today, and for sure we'll relate that later if it comes up. But she did mention spot on, Melanie. Oh, thank you. And she said it's a two-way street. So I just wanted to mention that.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Okay, now let's go ahead and let me go ahead and also further get to know each one of you when it comes to your own personal experiences. And audiences, if you're watching this, please feel free to, again, comment as well and share with us what your insights are because we love hearing from all of you. So the first question is, how does good communication foster trust and strengthen relationships? Who's going to jump in first? Melanie, open her mouth. You're it.
Well, first of all, when you're communicating, you are opening up. And when you open up your values come out, your way of thinking comes out, and you are willing to share that. So when you're trying to communicate a certain, value or your certain, let's say something that you want to come across, a message to others, and you opening up, it's allowing others to really understand who you really are. It's kind of like what we're talking about right now. So the more you communicate, the more they'll get to know you better, and the more they'll be able to know how to reciprocate or that communication so that the relationship can grow.
Ooh, love that answer. I am now getting anxious because I have a feeling they'll be asking me some questions because I'm the one hosting and I'm asking them, right? And later on, I think they're just going to rebuttal and say, you know what, Melvi, it's your turn. So I think maybe Jill or Caitlin will have a follow feedback of that before I respond. Do you guys have anything to say? I think Caitlin has, yeah.
Go ahead, Caitlin.
Okay, I think like going off with what Melanie was saying, like when we're creating trust, we're getting to know each other. We're communicating our wants, our needs. We can openly talk about our situations, the way we're behaving. Good communication, it allows us to build trust because it shows that you're willing to be open. We can establish boundaries like what we have talked about before. And when we clearly communicate clearly and with empathy, we can create an environment where people can be, real with each other. We can keep it 100 with each other. And it's there that, that emotional security is built, and it helps relationships last, even through challenges or any type of conflict.
Both of you tied in that and tied it so well together that I'm just astonished about what you feel and how you think about our topic tonight. And I really hope that all of what we're saying can also better the lives of others out there and learn from each one of us based on our own personal experiences, because I'm sure even our audiences have their own struggles in life, because I too struggled communicating back in the days. Now, Jill, do you have anything to add or maybe any other things to say about what we talked about? Or the question?
So as a follow-up to both of their amazing answers, I would say it fosters and strengthens relationships because it allows you to know the next steps if there were to be another conflict in the future. So you know exactly how they're going to react, how you can communicate for the next time, because there most likely will be a future conflict just in case. But you will be able to have an idea of how to approach that in the future with either this person or even getting to know yourself as well, with how you feel. Like I mentioned earlier, it's all about how you feel in the end. So that's my follow-up.
To tie that all in together, basically what they said is communication is the bridge to human connections. And that in itself, we all experience it because we go through it every single day, every moment, in everything that we do in our lives. Now that you've mentioned all these good nuggets, I want to pick your brain a little bit deeper, your heart more too, as well. Give me or tell us about an illustration or an experience where either the conversation or the effective communication faltered or it actually worked in your favor. So either a difficulty, maybe confrontations, conflicts, or something that maybe either enhanced or amplified the situation or helped in your situation. So either or give us an example, because I would love to hear your own personal experiences.
I have a simple one, and I think a lot of people can relate to it. And it's nothing too serious, but it does happen, and it is one where doesn't happen a lot. But if I'm hangry, I always make sure that I am letting that person know, because a lot of times my emotions, my feelings might be a little bit skewed because of external factors, but I always try to let them know, like, I am feeling this way. Please don't take it personal. And then, we can move forward from there. So I always try to be as transparent as possible. So again, it's nothing too serious, but it does happen. And I feel like a lot of people can relate to it.
Absolutely. I can relate to that. Yes,
That's
Kayla,
so real.
Yes, it is. Especially when you're in pain and they think you're either not in the mood, or you've got a big problem, or you don't like them. So again, like I've mentioned earlier, a lot of it are physical cues. So if you don't inform or notify the person or the people who we're communicating with or who we interact with, they will never know. After all, we're not mind readers. And I think if we were, that'll be a different challenge or different experience. Yes, Melanie.
I would like to share, because Julia and I, we work definitely close together. We're a team at work, and so she brought up this idea, because sometimes we're just not 100% when we come into work. Things could be happening, at home, or there, hormones.
Aging.
So, those things can definitely affect your mood, right? And then when communication is not flowing in other aspects in the area of where you're working, sometimes there's stress that kind of allows you to become a little bit more like, So she brought this like little ducks of us when we're not in the mood that represents us, like, like Gremlin. And the other one is like Smeagol. So if she's not in the mood, she brings it out, which means I have to kind of tread lightly, and try to just maybe allow her to just be in her moment. And when I bring that out, that means she has to tread lightly. But we're still supporting each other, even though we're not communicating verbally, but that's like a sign of communication. So I think even at home, how they have those little octopus that you flip, one says happy and the other one says you're not. Yeah, so it's something like that, something similar. So because sometimes you just don't want to talk, right? But you still want to communicate. So I think that would be somewhat a way to even let others know, even what you're feeling in the moment. So but it helps others to really understand where you're at that,
that reminds me, because sometimes when I'm messaging people and they don't want to respond, or they just have this shortcut, either K or J or H, and it's like fill in the blanks. And then the minute they have the emoji, it's easier for me to figure it out, because it's all a bunch of faces, a bunch of this. I said, okay, now I have to decipher all of these emojis, and I'm stuck there are times I'm stuck, because if it's just a smiley face, I'm like, okay, great, you're happy to see me, or you're happy to hear from me. But when it's an angry face, it's like, okay, are you mad? Are you not in the mood? Tell me more. Could you please help me out here? Because I don't want us to have a miscommunication. How about you, Kate? Because I know you work with children.
I do.
Yeah. So give us an example of how you interact with them and your own personal experiences with them.
I work so closely with children. I'm like an after school like mentor, and communicating with kids, it creates a safe and smooth environment. The way I speak to them, like I mentioned earlier, the tone, the words, and even like my body language and my facial expressions. I'm a very expressive person. So the kids notice when like I'm feeling sad or I'm feeling angry, and they're like, Miss, what's going on? I'm like, guys, I had a bite of a sandwich for lunch. So please don't I'm okay. But anyway, kids are constantly observing and modeling behavior, like in the social learning theory, everything that they see, they squeeze up. They're very impressionable. And so when I'm communicating with them, even if it's like through a smile or like a high five, or just telling them, hey, today's going to be a great day today, it allows them to be aware emotionally, and for me to be aware emotionally as well. And we can establish that good communication as well.
I love
That's wonderful. Yeah, because, people say what we say is who we are. How we talk is who we are. right? And
I would
so,
like to also
yes,
acknowledge, I see William Dorsey mentioned here,
yeah.
we can communicate with each other by just being a good listener.
Oh, yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. Yes, because it takes a lot of discipline to actually listen attentively.
Mhm.
Especially we live in a chaotic, busy world. Even when
Absolutely.
you're especially when you're outside. Imagine you're listening to kids talking, the traffic, the noise in the background. And so there are times it's so hard to really listen attentively and give your 100% focus. So when it's an important conversation, it's best to find a quiet place and have that conversation. Now,
Mhm.
the last question I'm going to ask in this segment that we have is, was there a time in your life where you had a conversation? I say it doesn't matter who. And after that conversation, you look back and said, man, I could have communicated better. I should have not said that. Oh, that was really bad. How do I apologize now? Or was it him? Or was it her? Was it her fault? Was it my fault? Have you ever had that experience?
Yeah.
Why, Melanie, you're giving me that face. Did they pinch them? Just kidding. Well, as siblings, we have had our share of those moments where we refuse to listen to each other. And did we get in trouble from our parents? Absolutely. Okay, you can exclude me on that, Melanie. You can go ahead and share another story.
Well, I think sometimes the barrier could be like pride, especially when it comes to like misunderstandings or like for whatever reason, sometimes emotions really get to you. And that's why in our previous shows, we've also talked about, maybe if you're not going to say something, positive or something if it's just going to hurt the other person, it's best to just like maybe stop the conversation and just say revisit this. And that's what actually I've been trying to do and becoming more open rather than when you're angry, that's when you try to discuss things, and it just doesn't work because you're not going to be hearing each other. Just based on my experience, it's more like just trying to point out who's right versus how did that person feel based on that situation. So I'm definitely learning a lot from what we've been discussing in our show for sure. So it's actually improved some of my communication within my family. So I'm definitely appreciative of it.
Yes, and she's smiling more.
Yes.
How about you,
And this is
Jill?
where I really talk a lot in our show.
It took a lot of fishing rod to just reel her in. I'm like, come on, you gotta give it a shot. It's so much fun. You can learn so much. What about you, Jill or Caitlin?
We're a fun bunch. I love it. And I love tuning in with our listeners and our entire audience. So we love hearing from you all as well. I would say I'm definitely one of those people who constantly think about what I've already said or how a conversation went and kind of overthink like, oh, I should have said this a little bit better. Or even if I rehearse something and I still look back and there's that one thing that I didn't say, I will still overthink and feel like I should have, communicated a little bit better. Even though I did get my point across, there's always going to be something that I might be missing or feel like I should have done something better in terms of communication. So that's kind of what I feel.
I've also experienced that myself, and I want us to know, even our audience out there, that let's give grace to ourselves. And
Mhm.
when we need help, let's ask for help. Have I
Mhm.
been there? Absolutely. Have I struggled in life when it came to communication? Yes, definitely. And I am still learning. I'm still trying to hone my skills in that on that aspect because I know how important it is in when it comes to our relationships with others and also our own selves, because we talked about this in our previous topic, right? We talked all about positive self-talk. Caitlin,
Mhm.
you have anything to add?
I agree with what Jill says. Sometimes when I'm like talking to a person, I walk away from the conversation or the conversation ends and I'm like, did I really say that? What if I came off the right, like, what if that came off the wrong way? I know, especially like when I was in school, when we would have group projects, I usually was the one who was like, hey guys, let's do this by Friday. Hey guys, let's meet up on Thursday so we can talk about this. And I was very much like puppeteer, like, let's do this. But I remember one time, and this was all on me, I wrote like a huge like essay in our group chat being like, hey guys, we're behind. I told y'all that we got to meet each other on Friday. None of us met. And like, I just knew like my emotions got like the best of me just because no one was communicating with me, but I knew I was kind of communicating in a harsh way. And, you know, I followed up with that text message and I was saying, I'm sorry that last message came off kind of harsh. I just do want the best for all of us. And I'm really sorry if I came off really bad. And my group members responded and they're like, oh, I completely understand. And we all pulled through. The project was fine, but I just knew that was a mistake that I made in the past, but I just wanted the best for our group. So yeah.
You know, it's also, yeah. Well, go ahead, Melanie.
Yeah, I really like that, Caitlin, because I think communication needs to happen constantly, but at the same time, we have to also reflect within ourselves and realize if we made a mistake. And sometimes communicating errors or mistakes is like the hardest, right?
Yeah.
But then we have to be able to just realize that, you know, we have to value others' thoughts and feelings and not just our own. And so if we're able to do that, to me, that's a really higher form of communication.
And remember, asking for help, acknowledging mistakes, they're not weaknesses. They are our strengths because it helps us improve in our lives. Now, let's go ahead and transition to the professional setting because you know what? We're a diverse group here when it comes to our profession. I'm in numbers, which is accounting, Caitlin, psychology, Melanie, nurse, and Jill, cyber analyst.
Yes.
And so I want to learn, or I want to know from them, how important is effective communication in the workplace?
I can take this one. So effective communication is very important in the workplace because, right, in any organization, any company, any business, you have a specific purpose into what you want to do and what you want to achieve. And in order to do that, you want to do that in the most quickest and most efficient way possible because, of course, in business and workplace, a lot of it has to deal with money. So, of course, you want to be able to achieve that at the most, most efficient and quickest way. Effective communication is very important because if there isn't, and there's some sort of toxicity or negativity within your environment or workplace, it takes you away from what you need to do. So if you're able to fully hone in and focus on your job along with your coworkers, your support system, you are able to fully succeed into your company values, the success of the business, and so forth, and you just feel better. So I would say that's how I feel, and that's what I think.
Yeah,
absolutely. Go ahead, Melanie.
Yeah, Jill, you mentioned about being effective, efficient, and quick. Because, like in my field, safety and saving lives is definitely number one priority. And if there's no effective communication during like a code, for example, then that definitely will not be helpful in saving that person's life, or even like making a mistake and cause harm to patients. So that's why in healthcare, it's very important to communicate. And if you have to communicate 100 times just to make sure that everything is cut clear and correct, concise, then that would be helpful for those that we're trying to save lives and take care of so they can go home to their families.
I had a bunch of questions, and both of you just covered the answers. Okay, Caitlin, go ahead and add on to what they said.
They took the words right out of my mouth. But, in any type of field or industry you are in, you will always have that sense of teamwork. The company I work for, part of our mission statement is to make sure that our kids reach their full potential full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens. And if we are not on the same page, especially as youth development mentors, it can create confusion or mixed signals, and those kids can read it on our faces that we are not synchronized, that we are not acting as a team. We need to stay consistent with the messages and the support that we give those kids. And at the end of the day, when we're deliberating, we are communicating openly. You know, we're checking in with each other on our radios throughout the day, or sharing ideas about how could we enrich these kids' lives for the better, or even talking about challenges that these kids might be going through, or little hiccups throughout the day and how to combat them in the future. And it just helps us provide better care for, especially like for our littles or the young ones.
You know, when it comes to communication, we can't go wrong with kindness. And that's one of the reasons why we have to be appreciative of all the tools that are out there in order for it to better our lives. Now, before we continue with our discussion, let's first hear from our buzz in the chat. Kuya Tech, if you can go ahead and play from the Grapevine bumper segment. Okay, Jill.
Perfect. So let's hear from the Vine chat. This is my favorite portion of the show, just because we get to engage and hear from our wonderful audience. So apologies if I'm unable to get to everybody, because in a great way, our Vine chat is actually flooding tonight. So this is a great topic, and I'm super excited to kind of dive into it. So thank you, Jenna, for tuning in from Santa Maria. We have let's see. We have our very own Rudolph. Thank you, Bill. Dorothy coming to you, viewing from Delano as well. Thank you for always tuning in. We love the support. Julia Whitman, thank you so much for tuning in as well. And Ian coming from Stanton, California. We have lots of people from Arosi, so thank you so much. We also have, a very familiar name and face, which is Brother Mark from Houston, Texas, and our beloved District Minister, Kaisais Antonio. Thank you so much for all the support. Let's see here. We also have lots of greetings from Ridgecrest. Let's see. We have some viewers from Quezon City, Philippines. Thank you so much for tuning in all the way from the Philippines. We also have Amel Ellison. Thank you, Paul. Manuel Hatulan. My apologies if I am butchering your name. We have Cora Jacob or Jacob from Santa Maria. Thank you so much for tuning in. We also have Lauren Calling tuning in as well. Julie Whitman, she mentioned ineffective communication often leads to frustration, conflict. Withholding key details can cause a simple task to take much longer to complete. Yes, I love that. Thank you. That was a great takeaway. We also have and yes, Ka Will. And that is it from our Vine chat. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Continue to drop in your thoughts and everything into the Vine chats. That way we can all hear from you and learn from you. So thank you, Melody.
Thank you, Jill. And also hello to Maven Joy, who's tuned in also from the Philippines. Maven Joy Norombaba. Hello there. All right. We only have a few minutes to play a game, and hopefully that we can go through this quickly. Audiences, are you ready to have fun? Okay, let's go. Kuya Tech, go ahead and show the PowerPoint presentation. It's called Guess the Country. So there will be an image that will be shown. You just have to guess which country this is. Slide 1. Can you guess what that is? Yes. Yes. All right. My friends are witty indeed. Okay, next one.
Next one. Oh, yes.
Okay, the next image.
Iceland.
Yay! Boy, they're on a roll. Next one. Tech.
Isn't it Ireland?
Oh,
Iran.
oh,
Oh,
Iraq.
Iran.
Oh,
I was like, wait, did I do that right?
Okay, next one. Uh,
Box.
Oh.
It's
Oh.
what's the first image there? It's a cube.
Cuba.
Cuba.
Okay,
Next
next one.
said box up. Oh, turkey.
Yay! Wow, Caitlin, I
Oh,
was waiting to get that one. I did say make it quick. This one's 3 images. So
Romance.
it's somebody rowing the row, and then what? Row.
Romania.
Yes!
Oh,
I knew Jill
Oh,
would know
because
this
there's a
one.
man in the middle.
Man.
Amazing. Yeah.
Oh, look, all of our the Vine chat is getting all the answers right. Great job, everybody. Okay, I think we have one more. Last one.
This is a funny one.
What? Tree. What?
So it's a tree,
Oh,
and then
is
what
that
is
a
what is he
tree? Like a
pointing at?
knee.
Okay,
Knee.
and then what's the third
Knee.
image?
A child.
Trini. Come on, you're getting there, Trini.
Training.
What is it?
Yay! Somebody got Carudo got it.
Carudo even said box up.
Yeah, that was so much fun. Thank you guys. Thank you for participating, and thank you, beloved audiences, for that wonderful time with you to play such a wonderful game. Okay, one last question before we close.
Mhm.
If we were to give somebody either not necessarily an advice, but something that they could take home tonight when it comes to effective communication in our lives, just a short one, even just 1 or 2 sentences, what message would that be that you would like to relay?
I
For
think it's
me-
still in. Oh, go ahead, Melody.
Oh.
Go ahead. Go ahead, girl.
Always communicate with the intent or purpose of understanding, love, and care.
Love it. Caitlin.
Communicate with kindness and with clarity. Do not bottle up your thoughts and emotions. Always express them.
Oh, that's wonderful. I love that because I used to bottle up my emotions back in. I
Me
feel
too.
so better now when I'm relate. Okay, Jill.
I don't know how to follow that. Those are both really good. I would say whenever there is conflict and you're trying to communicate or have effective communication, always strive for a positive outcome, no matter what that's going to be. There's going to be, content within the conversation, but know what you're conversing and communicating for.
Mhm.
As the young ones call it nowadays, do you have, or sometimes they'll ask, did you have that Riz in your life? Right?
I have no idea what that means.
Caitlin, explain it.
Translate. Caitlin,
Sometimes
translate.
I have
Charisma. I don't know.
Did you have Riz? I'm like, what? Can you further explain that in a better context where I can understand it? But, Caitlin, just explain it in one word. I think it's
Charisma.
charisma. There you go.
It's
Charisma.
charisma.
Yes, which is important. Warm, competent charisma is very important when it comes to communication. Now, before we close, we'd like to also acknowledge all of our spiritual leaders who continue to help us in all that we do, including having these online platforms to be able to share with you some moments, sometimes with you, and be able to learn from each other. We would like to thank first Brother Wally Tarai, our INC radio station manager, Brother Angelo Manalo, our Deputy Executive Minister, and above all, our beloved Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. From all of us here from Central Valley, California, we love you, po, and we thank you so much for all that you do. And beloved listeners and viewers, we cannot thank you enough for all that you do for us, your support, your time to be here. Among anything else that you can do on Friday night, we appreciate all of you, and we hope to see you again next week, only here on Valley Grown, presented by Central Valley, California Satellite Studio. And remember, practice it and become it. Communication matters because for us here on Valley Grown, communication is everything. Good night, everybody, and thank you once again. See you again next week. And mark us in your calendars. And don't forget to like that button. Bye. Kuya Tech.
Right, thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Don't forget
Next
to like,
week.
share,
Bye.
subscribe.
You learned from us tonight.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Take care. We love you. See you next time.